Today is September 18th. Is it still September 18th? Let's see. It is still September 18th, 2023. I'm making my life very, very simple. I'm going after something that I've decided to go for because I believe that is the path to my salvation. I go to church and when I was there this Sunday, this pillar of the Catholic community for Our Lady of the Rosary looked at me and says, "We would like to see you more often at church." And he smiled. And that is a invitation from God himself through a pillar of the community. His mouth was moving, but it was God speaking, and I appreciated it. And I go there as much as I can. I looked at my shirt after the church, and I wore the same shirt to Westside Drive-In, and we have tempuras, and these tempuras gets everywhere because it's placed in a 5-gallon bucket, and that 5-gallon bucket is stirred up. When it's stirred up, it splashes on the floor, in my pants, and then when I use the tempura to make finger steaks or fish batter, then that gets smeared all over the place. And if I don't wash it thoroughly and I grab my collar, then the tempura gets on the collar. And I have it on my pants. And when I filter the oil splashes onto my pants, and the same pants that I wore because I was I stayed up late to attempt to study and day trading. And I wore the same thing because I haven't been to church for a few weeks, and it was because I was extremely tired, and I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm an old man, and I know it. And when somebody says I work like a 30-year-old, well, I'm not going to last very long that way because I'm 54. So, and then I briefly walked outside of this wonderful building. And at night, I could just park right in front for free instead of parking in a parking garage. So I walked over, and when I walked over, I said to myself, you know what? I haven't seen my kids in a year and a half. My ex-wife, I haven't seen her in 3 years. And why would they want to see me if if my right leg is in homelessness, if my left leg is in the halfway house, okay? So I'm straddling between homelessness and halfway house. And the work that I do, thank God that I have survived for 2 years. You know, I'm not sure how long I'm gonna last. I have no idea. My ankle started to hurt, but now it's starting to improve because I got a new pair of shoes. The other pair of shoes were flat, and even if I put an extra cushion on it, but it still hurts extremely. It hurts, right? Because I'm running around everywhere, closing this, closing that. I'm an old man, and I believe because I am reliable, there's a hush of a expectation that I have to do these certain things because other people, they have 2 jobs, right? And so they're attempting to, anyway, that's their issue. I can just imagine if somebody has 2 jobs, I mean, they got to split their energy into 2 different companies, 2 different employments, and something's got to give, right? So I decided while I was outside, and I'm thinking to myself, I haven't seen my kids. At this point, my parents have passed away. Uh, the relatives that are in South Korea, they have disconnected with me because of this legal issue between my siblings, and I don't have. There's really no family here, right? And the only family that I have are my kids, right? Those are the only family that I have. And uh, even though my ex-wife divorced me 21 years ago, I would do whatever I can to help her out, to ease the burden of being on this earth. And I'm trying to do that. So, what that means is that if I'm like straddling homelessness and the halfway house, there's no way for me to to go into their lives because 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 essentially I am extremely uh, uh, social economically suppressed, that it is incredibly difficult to stand on my own. And I'm sure as young people, my children are still young and they're trying to stand up on their own, and it's not easy for them either, and I'm trying to help them out. So until I can stand on my own and overflow with excess, the interaction with my children would be very difficult to do. And I can see that. I see how that works. So there's this burning urgency. My car is wearing. It's going to be about, it's a year 2015. So it's like 8 years old, and it's going to break down soon. And and I'm an old man and working in a fast food restaurant that requires uh, lots of effort, right? I can't work that long. I mean, it's a demanding job. So so that's what's going on. But maybe a few years down the road, I'm thinking. So I said to myself, look, it's gonna take a few years. It's gonna take years. I may never be able to solve this riddle. I may I may be like floundering. I may just flounder for like the rest of my life, and it's very possible that I will never figure this out. It is very possible that I will never figure this out, because I was if I was smart enough and I was young, then I would be able to interact with those individuals and get into some sort of a clique or a group or something and get things going. But at my age, it's not. Even though I belong to another group, I don't understand them. They all know how to trade, but I don't understand what they're saying. They give you advice, but it doesn't make any sense at all because I am not there. They are there. I'm not there, and so whatever they say does not make any sense. So what I'm having to do is spend my time getting to the point where I can understand it, and um, this is this essentially is the path to my salvation. This is it. There's there's no way to save myself economically, okay? Lift myself up until I can solve this particular thing. If I don't solve this particular thing, I will be living in a room until I'm old, and my car will break down, and I won't be able to buy a car. And the amount of money that the state of Idaho is asking me to pay, it'll take at least 15 years to pay that off. Okay, it'll take 15 years from now. So that's going to be what, 67 years? I'll be 70 years old when that thing is paid off. Okay, that's how it works. Even though that is actually needs to be divided into three, right? The house is 400,000, 200,000 in cash, and that 75,000 that they say that I owe, right? You have to split that in three, right? Just on the house is 100K. But these these criminals have made me into, so that's the situation I'm in. So rich people do whatever they do to survive, and you, it's if it's legally okay, they'll steal the money, right? So for me, um, as a sibling, I would not do such a thing. Okay, I would not do such a thing. But they are willing to do those things. The two are willing to stoop down low and be so conniving and devious to do such a thing. So they may even be accepted into heaven. I don't know. I have no idea. Whatever they did may be acceptable in the eyes of God. I don't know. But we'll see. So now, the single word that I think about is this is the path that I'm taking. This is the previous video talked about this mission. This is the path that I'm taking. I'm reinforcing the urgency for me to keep doing this, keep doing it, plugging away, even though the amount of information and new things that I'm acquiring is small and very small, and I don't know if it's helping at all, but I'm still going for it. I'm still investing my time, and I'm still working on it. I'm still documenting this. I'm now approximately 185 videos away from putting 1,000 videos, and 1,815 videos has not shown me how it works. I'm documenting this. It's like 815 videos of me just running on a hamster wheel, right? So each video is like just one loop around the hamster wheel. So 815 times. But I'm going to persist. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep spending my time. I'm going to keep studying. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying until my last breath. I'm going to keep doing this until my last breath, okay? Maybe it is a good thing that I work at Westside Drive-In, because it forces me to like run around and get some exercise in, okay? Because I have to sit here and doze off for hours and hours and hours anyway. So exercise is probably a good thing. So this is it. This is the path. This is, if somehow my kids ever contact me and says, "Hey, what have you been doing?" I'll tell them, "Look, I've been like washing dishes, sleeping, and then studying, day trading." And then if they ask me, "Oh, are you successful?" I'll probably tell them I'm still working on it because it's not easy. I'm competing with this very, very smart people. I mean, and also they belong to like trading firms, and so they talk to each other. So one brain, okay, their one brain is like 10 times smarter, maybe 20 times smarter than me, but they're taking that 20 times smarter single brain and then merging with other brains that are equally smart. And so essentially they're like 1,000 times smarter than I am. So 1,000,000 times smarter than I am, because they're communicating, they're sharing, they're saving the database, and they're working on it, they're studying. One person is studying this particular thing and sharing with others to try it out. But for me to discover one new idea is like discovering what? Discovering uranium. It's like discovering what was that? Like penicillin. It's like first time people discovered like it's like discovering that Earth is not flat, kind of thing, right? It took years. It took hundreds of years, thousands of years to figure that out. And working alone, despite the fact that there's plenty of YouTube videos, something needs to click. That clicking is it could be years away, years and years and years. I mean, this guy who's Al Brooks, who is is training people, studied for 10 years. That guy is a PhD. I mean, not a PhD, but medical doctor. And he's published numerous books. And it took that guy 10 years to get to figure out a trade. Still, I'm going to persist. I'm going to persist. I'm going to keep doing this. And I just may just grow old, and maybe 10,000 videos later, I'll be like, my eyebrows will be all gray. Okay, my eyebrows will be all like white, and even if I shave my head, it's gonna be all white, and my nose hairs will be all white, and even if I shave, it's gonna be all white, and my teeth maybe it just fall off, and my glasses. Oh my God, I need to get new glasses. I don't know. It's gonna start like. See, this is plastic, so when I go outside, the sun, UV, damages it. And what am I going to do about the car? Oh well. I guess this is the path that I've chosen, and it's a path that I will continue. Hopefully, Al Brooks says this. Hope is for mankind to survive. But hope in day trading is a devastating thing, because if the trade goes against me and I'm hoping, that's a loss, man. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. So I got to cut my losses there. But I'm hoping the things will work, but it's going to take years. I know it. It's going to take, especially in my situation, which if I had like a collaborator who was already a professional and a coach working at the same time, explain to me the single trade of how it works. So maybe I need to describe how the single trade works. Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do. But this is the path that I'm going. Okay.